embrace you here.
What's good, Internet? The Black Hokage here, aka TBH, and to be honest, many of you were curious to see where the Gears of War franchise would go after Judgment was passed on a certain game that we no longer acknowledge, and the IP was passed on to the Coalition. Could the Coalition get Gears of War back on track for the Xbox One and PC? Let's find out.
There's a dropship! Shit, they're gonna mess up my fucking tomato!
The campaign is an important part of the Gears of War series. The original trilogy is home to some of my fondest game memories from high school, so it's disappointing to see that upon completing Gears of War 4's campaign, I'm indifferent about it. Gears of War 4 is an obvious setup story for the future games that relies too heavily on nostalgia instead of passing the torch. You play as JD Phoenix, the son of Marcus Phoenix with his two friends Del and Kate. None of the new characters are particularly interesting, which makes the first couple acts of the game drag before finally meeting up with Marcus. JD's a bootleg Nathan Drake, Del is a yes man, and Kate is just kinda there. The saving grace of the story is Marcus and the old crew. Interacting with the old friends was more entertaining because they had their own personalities. What I will say is, set pieces are some of the best in the game series in Gears of War 4 in my opinion. From battling a chopper on a motorcycle to fighting in Beer's Gundams that hilariously named Jack Jr. The game did a solid job of making you feel like a badass. Add to the fact that I am a fan of the majority of the new weapons, the voice acting and visuals are A1, and here you have a campaign that's better than the previous Gears game, but doesn't quite touch the original trilogy. I would say it was aight. Horde mode is something I've never been a big fan of. Since Gears of War 2, I would play it here and there, but the Coalition made some changes to the formula to increase the fun factor and challenge for me in Gears of War 4. Horde now centers around the Fabricator, a mobile box that can produce weapons and defenses. The catch is, the only way you can craft weapons and defenses is by collecting points that enemies drop after you kill them. So now, not only is your team act to survive, but also risk running out and collecting points during the fight so that you can keep building defenses. It's nothing in the early stages, but around level 30 when things begin to heat up, it creates an interesting and fun dynamic that tests how your team will move in desperate times. Add to the fact that you get a boss every 10 levels, and you have a fun package here. Multiplayer is the meat and potatoes of Gears of War, so I was worried the Coalition would mess up Gears 4 after they messed up the shotgun play in the Ultimate Edition, but I'm happy to announce that Gears of War 4 sees the return of the pull-up game. Sometimes the shotgun can be a little iffy, but for the most part, if you hit them point blank, you will blast them to smithereens. Like I said earlier, I enjoy the new weapons such as the fast-shooting overkill and the powerful new M-bar, but I'm not the biggest fans of the maps or the maps rotations. None of the new maps are bad in Gears 4, but none of them are great either. They just feel like an afterthought. Add to the fact that it feels like you play the same 3 maps all the time, and it leaves room for improvement. What I am a fan of is the new game mode Dodgeball. Everyone gets 1 life, and if you die, the only way you're responding is if one of your teammates gets a kill, similar to how if they catch the ball in Dodgeball, you get your teammate back. I enjoy this mode because it's intense, but it also provides short bursts of fun when you don't have a ton of time to play the game. There are tons of unlockables from characters to skins, and equipping a bounty before a match will help you acquire them faster. Throw in the fact that all future maps are free, and you have a decent package that'll keep you busy for some time. Optimization is something that pertains to the PC version of the game. I just want to say that every game developer interested in bringing their game to PC needs to call the Coalition. Gears of War 4 is one of the most optimized games on PC. It runs buttery smooth with no problems and shows what can be done when developers stop being lazy and put some effort forward. Now let's talk about a few gripes that I have with the game.
Act 3
of Gears of War 4's campaign is the longest, most drawn out and contrived BS I've seen in a while. Without spoiling too much, just know that you're gonna spend a good 2 to 3 hours trying to complete one rescue mission. It was just so unnecessary and lazy. I wouldn't fault anyone for quitting at that moment in the campaign. Actually, when I think about it, the first act of the game was pretty bad too. You were fighting robots for a good hour. It was just boring and a bad way to introduce the new world and characters. To the community. One of the main reasons I was excited for Gears 4 was the Coalition kept bragging about crossplay between the Xbox and PC. Then a week before the game comes out, an article gets published where they reveal that crossplay is only for co-op and not competitive. That means crossplay only works for campaign and horde mode. Nobody plays on PC with mouse and keyboard, so there are no advantages. Why did they not add crossplay for multiplayer? I was excited to be able to play with my Xbox friends, only to be let down. To make matters worse, the matchmaking is terrible on PC. It's quick if you get into social play because that's where the people with no parties go, but if you have a full party on PC, you're forced to play a specific mode, and you'll be waiting a good 3 to 10 minutes for one game at times, and that's ridiculous. Microtransactions are the devil, and the devil is hard at work in Gears of War 4. Remember how I told you there's a lot of characters and skins to unlock? Yeah, well, the problem is they're unlocked via pack openings, and the only packs worth buying are the rare ones. The problem is one rare pack costs 3,500 coins, and you get like 5 coins at the end of each match. Gears is my game. It's nothing for me to pull off a 15 or 20 kill game, but then they reward you with 12 coins at the end of the match. I'm just looking at the screen like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? I have 20 plus hours on the multiplayer, and I've only been able to afford like 3 rare packs, and do you know why? It's because they want you to buy them. and that's a damn shame. Final thoughts. Here's a quick rundown of the pros and cons of Gears of War 4 for all you slow folks out there. On the positive side of things, the campaign has great set pieces, Horde mode is better than ever, multiplayer is still fast and fluid, the new weapons are beasts, dodgeball is life, and the game is beautifully optimized. On the negative side of things, the new characters are whack, the first half of the campaign is a drag, there's no multiplayer crossplay, it has terrible matchmaking on PC, the multiplayer maps are and microtransactions. Look, Gears of War 4 is fun, but its biggest problem is it plays it too safe. It does nothing new that strays outside of the tried and true Gears of War formula. I enjoyed the game because it's been a few years since the last Gears and I'm admittedly a Gears of War fanboy, but I can understand why some people are skeptical. It just doesn't do enough to attract a new crowd, and that's why I have two recommendations for the game. If you're a Gears of War fan or you're interested in it, then pick up the game. You'll enjoy it. If you've never been into Gears of War, then the fourth entry won't be the game to pull you in. It just doesn't do enough to attract a new crowd in my opinion, so for you guys I'd say wait until the price drops. And those are my thoughts on Gears of War 4. Be sure to share yours in the comment section below. Please leave a like on this video if you found it informative, share it on social media, and subscribe to my second channel over at youtube.com/GIupdates. We do movie reviews, sports podcasts, anime podcasts, gaming news, mobile reviews, and more. As youtube.com/GIupdates. Link in the description box below. Bless up.